All right, so today we are going deep on this whole full stack creator thing. It's a website, by the way. And it makes some pretty bold claims talking about like seven-figure earnings, attracting dream clients, financial freedom, all that jazz, all through social media. So is this the real deal or just another one of those like get rich quick schemes?
Well, it definitely plays into that whole, like, desire that so many people have these days to, kind of break free from the 9 to 5 and be their own boss.
Right, exactly. And the guy behind it all, this guy Dakota, he's got a pretty compelling story. He went from working construction to building this whole online empire, making, seven figures and all that. And he's got a huge following on social media.
Yeah, and I think what really resonates with people is that he started with 0 followers.
Mm-hmm.
It's that classic, like, rags to riches story.
Totally. Makes you think, like, hey, if he can do it, maybe I can too. And he also makes a point of saying it's not just about, like, him getting rich. He wants to help other people achieve success too.
Right, which is, a good approach, I think. He positions himself as more of a mentor or a guide, which kind of builds trust.
For sure. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts here. What exactly does it even mean to be a full stack creator?
Well, according to Dakota, it's all about this 3-step process. Specialize, generalize, then productize.
Okay, I'm listening.
So first you got to specialize, right? Figure out your niche. Like, what are you truly passionate about? What unique skills or knowledge do you have that you could offer?
So instead of being like a general social media manager, you might be like the restaurant TikTok guru.
Exactly. And that way you attract a more targeted audience, people who really value what you bring to the table.
Makes sense. And then there's generalized. What does that mean?
So once you've kind of established yourself in your niche, it's time to broaden your horizons a bit, Add more skills to your repertoire, kind of like adding tools to your toolbox.
So our restaurant TikTok expert, they might also like learn about food photography or how to run those social media ad campaigns.
Exactly. You're getting it. And by combining those complementary skills, you stand out from the crowd.
Right.
And you offer more value to your clients.
Gotcha. So we've specialized, we've generalized, now it's time to productize. This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Yeah, this is where you take all that knowledge and those skills and you package it into something you can sell over and over again. Instead of just trading time for money, you're creating something that can generate passive income.
So our TikTok and food photography expert, they could create an online course that teaches restaurant owners how to like DIY their own social media.
Exactly. And that course can be sold to tons of people, right? Hundreds, even thousands potentially. You could also do ebooks, templates, workshops, even software. It's all about leveraging your expertise.
This all sounds pretty good, but is it really that easy? He talks about this thing called the hurdle.
Right. He identifies these 3 groups of people who are struggling in the online world. First, there's the ignorant. These are the people who haven't realized the potential of building an online audience. They're kind of stuck in the old ways of doing things.
And then you have the voider. You see these people all the time. They're posting content constantly, but like with no real strategy behind it.
Yeah, they're just shouting into the void, hoping someone will hear them. And then you have the freestyler. They might have a decent following, but they haven't figured out how to, monetize it. They're creating content just for the sake of creating content.
So what Dakota's saying is that all of these groups are missing one key thing, a system. And of course, he claims his program is that system.
Right, his full stack creator program. He says to give you the roadmap, the strategies, and the support you need to go from struggling creator to successful entrepreneur.
Okay, so let's break down what's actually in this program. From what I can tell, it's pretty comprehensive. He's got live workshops, access to an exclusive community, expert masterclasses, even one-on-one feedback calls.
And there's more. Courses on branding, content creation, mindset, the business side of things, really trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah, he even throws in some pretty cool bonuses, like a swipe file of viral video ideas and this whole productivity system that's supposed to help you get more done in less time.
It seems like he's really trying to create a package that appeals to people who are feeling overwhelmed. Those who just want a clear step-by-step system to follow.
But the question is, does it deliver? To answer that, I think we need to look at some examples. Dakota highlights a few success stories from people who have gone through his program. Like, there's this woman, Taylin Simmons, who is a professor making $42,000 a year. After going through the program, she's now making $500,000 a year.
Wow. And then there's Clifton S. He says he's made over $1 million since quitting his job and applying Dakota's methods.
Pretty impressive, really. But as always, we encourage you to take any claims like this with a grain of salt. Everyone's journey is different.
Exactly. What works for one person might not work for another.
For sure. Okay, but there's this one thing that really stood out to me. It's kind of controversial. He doesn't offer refunds,
Yeah, no refunds at all.
which is pretty much unheard of for online courses, right? Most programs offer at least a 30-day money-back guarantee, so what's the deal with that?
He says it's about setting the right expectations from the start, filtering out the people who aren't truly committed,
Yeah.
getting rid of those tire kickers who are just looking for a quick fix.
So he's basically saying, if you're not willing to take a risk, then this program isn't for you.
Exactly. He also makes the point that, digital products are non-returnable. Once you've accessed the information, you can't really unlearn it.
I get that, but it's still a bold move.
It definitely makes you think about, how serious you need to be to succeed with this program.
So is this a red flag, or is it a sign of his confidence in his system?
Well, I think before we answer that, it's worth looking at Dakota's own journey. He's pretty open about the fact that he struggled for years before finding success online.
Right, he talks about trying all these different side hustles, Amazon FBA, flipping iPhones, even selling mugs on eBay.
Yeah, none of which really worked out for him. It wasn't until he discovered the power of building an online audience and creating valuable digital products that he started to see real success.
So even the guy who's now selling the dream of online riches, he had to go through his own period of trial and error.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that actually makes him more relatable, It shows that success isn't just handed to you.
Definitely humanizes him a bit. So knowing that about Dakota, does that no refund policy seem less like a red flag now?
That's a tough one. It's an unusual approach, but knowing that he went through so much trial and error himself, it kind of makes sense.
Hmm.
He's basically saying, look, I'm not promising overnight riches. This takes work, and I only want people who are in it for the long haul.
Right. So it's more about setting a high bar for commitment than anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also ties back to this idea of building a diehard audience,
Yeah.
which he talks about a lot on the website.
Mhm.
He's not interested in casual followers. He wants people who are truly engaged, people who are invested in his teachings.
And those are the people who are most likely to get results.
Exactly. It's like anything in life. The more you put in, the more you get out.
Hmm.
And Dakota's program, it provides the framework, the tools, but ultimately it's up to the individual to take action.
Right. So let's zoom out a bit here. What does this whole full stack creator thing tell us about the current state of online business?
It definitely reflects this growing trend of people building their own personal brands online and leveraging their expertise to create their own businesses. It's a shift away from traditional employment towards more flexible and independent ways of working.
Right. More and more people are ditching the 9 to 5 and embracing this whole creator economy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, social media plays a huge role in all of this. It's become the main platform for connecting with customers, building an audience, establishing yourself as an authority in your field.
Absolutely. And Dakota's really tapping into that. He's offering this roadmap for people who want to capitalize on this whole trend.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Is it really as easy as he makes it sound? Can anyone just become a full stack creator and start raking in the cash?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his program provides a framework and it gives you resources, but ultimately success depends on a lot of factors. Your skills, work ethic, how much demand there is for what you're offering, and let's be honest, a little bit of luck never hurts.
Yeah, he does talk about the importance of mindset, though,
Mm-hmm.
addressing things like imposter syndrome, procrastination, that kind of stuff.
Right, it's not just about the technical skills.
Yeah,
You also need the right mental attitude.
for sure. He also mentions being able to make thousands of dollars from a single viral post.
Ah, yes, the viral dream. While going viral can definitely give you a boost, it's not really a sustainable strategy, right? It's kind of like building a house on sand. You need a more solid foundation.
Right, so creating a couple viral TikToks might get you some initial attention, but real success comes from building a loyal audience who consistently engage with your content.
Exactly. And that takes time and effort.
Now, Dakota throws around some big numbers. He says the creator economy is projected to reach $480 billion by 2027, and that there are over 5 billion active social media users globally. Are those numbers even accurate?
Yeah, those figures are actually pretty much in line with what industry reports are saying.
Okay.
The creator economy is definitely booming, and social media is driving a lot of that growth.
So it sounds like he's onto something with this whole full stack creator idea.
He's tapping into a real trend, that's for sure. And his system seems to be providing a framework for people to navigate this new landscape.
Okay, but we've also talked about the potential downsides. The no refund policy, the fact that it's not a guaranteed path to success.
Right. It's important for people to do their research, manage their expectations, and approach any program like this with a critical eye.
So here's a thought I want to leave you with. Could this whole full stack creator approach be applied beyond online businesses?
Hmm. That's interesting. It definitely makes you think about the broader implications of these concepts, right?
Like, could you apply those principles to personal development, to career advancement, even to community building?
It's definitely worth exploring. The core concepts like identifying your strengths, expanding your skill set, creating value, those are relevant in many areas of life, not just online business.
Imagine applying that specialized, generalized, productized model to your career.
Right. You can specialize in a particular area within your field, then generalize by learning complementary skills, and then productize your knowledge by creating a course or a workshop to teach others.
Exactly.
Or think about personal development. You can specialize in something like mindfulness or productivity, then generalize by learning related skills, and then productize your knowledge by creating a blog or a podcast, or even an online community.
So while this full stack creator program is specifically about online business, those underlying principles could potentially be adapted to achieve success in other areas of life as well.
Exactly. It's all about thinking outside the box.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's an unusual approach, but I think knowing that Dakota himself struggled for so long before finding his own success, it kind of makes sense. You know, it's like he's saying, look, I've been there. I know this takes real work, so I only want people who are serious about putting in the effort.
Right. It's not some magic bullet, more about like filtering out the people who aren't really ready to commit.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of ties back to that whole thing about building a diehard audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He talks about that a lot.
Yeah, he's not interested in those casual followers, the ones who just kind of dip their toes in. He wants people who are all in, who are truly engaged with what he's teaching.
And those are the people who are most likely to actually get results.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like anything else in life, you get out what you put in. His program might give you the framework, the tools, the guidance, but ultimately, you got to be the one to actually take action.
Right. You got to do the work. So let's zoom out for a second here. What does this whole full stack creator thing tell us about like the bigger picture of online business these days?
Well, it definitely reflects this trend we're seeing. You know, more and more people are building personal brands online, leveraging their expertise to create their own businesses. It's a shift away from that traditional 9-to-5 grind. People are looking for more flexible ways to work, more independent ways to work.
Right. It's the whole creator economy thing.
Exactly.
And social media is obviously at the heart of it all. It's how people are connecting with customers, building audiences, establishing themselves as experts.
Absolutely. And Dakota's program is kind of like a roadmap for people who want to jump into that world. You know, he's packaging up all the strategies and tactics that successful online entrepreneurs are using and presenting them in a way that's more structured, more accessible.
Okay, but the question is it really that simple? Can anyone just become a full stack creator and start making bank?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, his program provides a framework, it gives you resources, but success still depends on a lot of things. You know, your individual skills, your work ethic, whether there's actually a demand for what you're offering. And let's face it, a bit of luck never hurts either.
He does talk a lot about mindset, though, like addressing imposter syndrome, procrastination, those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's important. It's not just about the technical skills, right? You got to have the right mindset, the right attitude.
For sure. He also talks about being able to make like thousands of dollars from a single viral post. Is that realistic for most people?
Going viral can be great, obviously, but it's not really a sustainable strategy. You can't build a business on hoping to go viral all the time.
It's like one viral TikTok doesn't make a career.
Exactly. Real success comes from consistently creating valuable content, building an audience that trusts you.
Speaking of big numbers, Dakota claims the creator economy is going to be worth $480 billion by 2027, and that there are like over 5 billion people using social media worldwide. Are those numbers even legit?
Actually, yeah, those numbers are pretty much in line with what industry experts are predicting. The creator economy is booming, no doubt about it, and social media is a huge driver of that growth.
So it sounds like this whole full stack creator thing isn't just some like passing fad.
It's definitely tapping into a real trend. And Dakota's system, it seems to be resonating with a lot of people.
But we got to remember those potential downsides we talked about earlier, right? That no refund policy, the fact that success isn't guaranteed.
Right. It's important for people to do their research, manage their expectations, go into it with a clear understanding of the risks and the commitment involved.
So here's something to think about. Could this full stack creator approach be applied to other areas of life beyond just online business?
That's a good question. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Like, could you apply those principles to personal development, to your career, even to community building?
It's worth exploring, for sure. I mean, those core concepts like specializing in something, then branching out, then finding ways to leverage your expertise, those are relevant in a lot of different contexts.
Imagine applying the specialize, generalize, productize model to your job search, for example.
Right. You could specialize in a particular skill set, then generalize by learning some complementary skills, and then productize yourself by creating a portfolio that showcases your abilities.
Exact.
Or think about something like activism. You could specialize in a particular issue you're passionate about, then generalize by learning about related issues, and then productize your knowledge by creating a blog or a podcast to raise awareness.
So even though the Full Stack Creator Program is specifically about online business, those underlying principles could be adapted to achieve success in other areas of life as well.
Absolutely. It's all about being creative, about thinking outside the box.
I love that. It's funny, when we think of creators, we usually think of artists or musicians, right? But this full stack creator thing, it really expands on that idea.
Yeah, it definitely broadens the definition. It's like anyone who has valuable knowledge or a specific skill set can be a creator now. It's about taking what you're packaging it up and sharing it with the world. And making money from it, of course.
And it's not just about like selling courses or ebooks. Dakota talks about using your audience to land high-paying clients too. He gives an example of someone who combined web development and copywriting skills. And they were able to attract clients willing to pay top dollar for their services.
Right. That's a perfect example of how generalizing your skills can really pay off. You create this unique offering that makes you more appealing to a wider range of clients.
Yeah, and he also talks about the importance of building a strong personal brand. He says your brand is the sum total of the value you provide.
I like that. And that value can come from a lot of different places. Your content, your expertise, even your personality, your values.
Right, and he really emphasizes being authentic, building genuine connections with your audience. He says people can spot a fake a mile away, especially online.
Oh yeah, for sure. People are drawn to authenticity, to realness.
Definitely. Dakota also uses this interesting analogy. He says building your online presence is like growing a tree. You start with a strong trunk, which is your niche, but then you branch out in different directions to reach more sunlight, so to speak.
I like that analogy. It's a good way to visualize that balance between specialization and generalization. You need that solid foundation, but you also need to be willing to grow and evolve over time.
Okay, so before we wrap things up here, I want to bring it back to the listener for a second. What are some takeaways from all this that they can apply to their own lives, even if they're not like aspiring entrepreneurs?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is to really think about what you're good at. What are your unique skills and knowledge? What value can you offer to the world?
Yeah, it's about recognizing your own potential.
Exactly. And even if you're not looking to start an online business, those principles of specialization, generalization, productization, they can be applied to so many different things.
Right, like imagine applying those principles to your job search.
Exactly. You could specialize in a particular skill set, then generalize by learning complementary skills, and then productize yourself by creating a portfolio that showcases your abilities.
Or what if you're passionate about a certain cause?
Yeah, you could specialize in a specific area within that cause, then generalize by learning about related issues, and then productize your knowledge by creating a blog or a podcast to raise awareness.
So while the Full Stack Creator Program is specifically geared towards online business, those core ideas can be used to achieve success in other areas of life as well.
Definitely. It's all about taking those principles and adapting them to your own goals and aspirations.
That's a great way to put it. Well, that pretty much wraps up our deep dive into the world of full stack creators for today. Hopefully this episode gave you a better understanding of what it's all about.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
The potential benefits, the things to consider. It's a lot to digest.
The key takeaway for me is to be an active learner. Don't just passively absorb information. Engage with it, question it, apply it to your own life.
Great advice. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep creating. Until next time.
See you.